Dragon Quest Treasures is a brand new Dragon Quest spin-off title that features treasure hunting and monster taming as its primary focus. Today we're going to be taking a very early look at the game and discussing my initial thoughts on it. With it being a very recent release, it's impossible for me to make a full-scale review without properly diving into every single aspect. However, just like we've done in the past with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Digimon Survive, etc., we're going to be discussing whether or not I think it's any good so far. In doing such, we will go over some of the basic mechanics, the story, and of course the monsters as well, so expect this video to be a brief but detailed look at the game. So with all that being said, make sure to sit back, relax, subscribe for daily monster taming videos, and let's dive in. Alright, so while searching for treasure, Dragon Quest XI's Eric and his sister Mia are whisked away into the fantastical world of Draconia, where they're tasked with hunting down the 7 dragon stones from across the various dragon-shaped floating isles. In their quest to do so, they also bump heads with rival treasure hunting factions and must traverse the dangerous monster-riddled land. It's a pretty simple concept, all things considered, but it gets the job done in setting up the narrative and sort of call to action for the players. Mechanically, this game is very interesting. First of all, you operate out of a base on Eggshell Island, which is a pretty typical hub world that you can upgrade by finding various treasures throughout the game. The entire treasure hunting aspect is also pretty interesting, and I do find that the majority of features within the game really tie together quite nicely. For example, the game is a monster taming game, but the monsters actually play a role in treasure hunting rather than just being there for the sake of taming. Different monsters have different affinities with different types of treasures, and they can also fight alongside you in combat, use special abilities known as fortes, which will allow you to traverse the world more easily, etc. The combat itself is nothing revolutionary and pretty simplistic, with there just being one basic attack for the player character that, when tapped repeatedly, can create a combo. The monsters themselves actually use AI to fight, so you're not directly controlling them. However, you also have special abilities that allow for almost Z-move-like cinematics that deal massive damage or have a very powerful special effect. This is done by raising your dagger meter, so I guess it's kind of like using Limit Break from Final Fantasy. The player character also has their own version of this, which buffs all of their stats, such as movement speed, attack power, etc. You also have the catapult, which is a slingshot-esque item that allows you to shoot various pellets that have different effects. You have standard ones that do damage, you have ones that do certain types of damage, whether it be elemental or attribute-based. You have ones that can heal your monsters, you can stun other monsters, you can make recruiting monsters easier, etc. Recruitment is done through defeating enemy monsters in battle, at which point there will be a chance for them to join your team. After being, quote, scouted, the monsters will appear in your home base where you can purchase them for golden resources. Speaking of your home base, the home base itself includes a lot of interesting aspects to it, such as a randomized dungeon underneath it, a vault where you can keep all of the treasures that you find, many of which are actually references to previous Dragon Quest games, which I think is a really nice touch. You can also upgrade the base in order to add shops, important NPCs, and expand your overall crew as well. Finding treasure itself is pretty simple. You just go to one of the many islands that your equipped monsters have an affinity with. Then you utilize your dagger's special ability to create a compass that'll point you in the right direction. When you're close enough to a treasure, you can use the special compass ability again to show you a view from your different monsters' perspectives, which will show you where the treasure is. You gotta basically find it and then dig it up. Every treasure you find will get appraised when you go back to the hub, and their value is added to your base value, which is then used to upgrade your base further. One thing that I do like that adds difficulty to the game is that if you're knocked out during your travels, you'll lose whatever treasure you have, and if you let your monsters take too much damage, they could also accidentally drop your treasure, making you have to pick it up mid-combat, which can be difficult, especially since enemies can pick them up. The monster variety isn't massive, and there are quite a few recolors, as this isn't meant to be a massive scale monster collection game, but the monsters do have all their own unique abilities and aspects, even those that are simple palette swaps from one another. If you do want to see a list of all the monsters in the game, you can check out this video linked below, where we go over in sort of a showcase format, but basically from what I can gather, there's roughly 60-ish monsters, but again, many of them are duplicates with different colors. But yeah, there's a lot to this game that we haven't even mentioned. There's medals, which can buff you. There's duels, which allow you to fight enemy pirate factions. You can defend your base. You can be invaded by other pirates. There are even more story implications after you set out on your adventure, etc. But that stuff's gonna have to wait for my full-fledged review. So far, I have to say the game is really fun. I, again, love how everything ties together. The monster taming ties into the treasure hunting, which ties into the base building, which ties into the story, and everything is just like a really nice, neat knot and is sort of interconnected. I think this game's a lot of fun. I definitely think it's worth checking out if you're interested in something like this, and I'm honestly surprised by how much thought and effort went into this game, especially with it being a spin-off. That said, if you are currently playing Dragon Quest Treasures, let me know in the comments what you think of it, and if not, let me know if you're planning on getting the game after seeing this video. So far, like I said, I do think it's a lot of fun, and as I'm scripting this video, I'm really itching to get back into it. But that being said, if you do want to stay up to date on all things monster taming, definitely subscribe to my channel because I put out new monster taming videos every single day. You can check out my Twitter, my Discord, and my Patreon linked below. Special thanks to the patrons, especially Jim Hamilton, Dro Ghost, Dark Persona, and Exodus, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.